guys, welcome back to Prepping in Progress. I'm Kim.
I'm Steve.
And today, as you can tell, we're in the kitchen again, getting ready to do some canning. And we wanted to show you a modern way, kind of versus, and the part two, versus a traditional way of canning chicken, because we have a ton of it. So, yeah, we got a wink, wink, nod, nod to everybody that knows out there. A great deal on a lot of chicken. So, yeah, we're going to be here in the kitchen probably canning away. So, grab your balls and let's go. Okay guys, like we said, we got a lot of chicken. One of the boxes that we're going through right now, we got whole chickens. They're still kind of frozen, but the recipe that we're doing is okay with using frozen ones. And like I said, this one's going to be kind of the modern take on canning chicken. It's going to cause have a few more modern gadgets that you may have in your home already. Definitely not so much off-grid stuff unless you've got an excellent solar system that can handle this. But this recipe for actually cooking up the chicken is going to be using our Instapot for getting our chicken all boiled up and cooked. Now the chicken, because we're going to be pressure canning it afterwards, only needs to be cooked about medium. So if it has a little pink in it still, it's perfectly fine. It'll actually help because it'll still cook a little bit more in the pressure canner. So a little bit undercooked after boiling it is fine, and because you don't want it to dry out once it goes into the pressure canner and get overcooked and kind of tougher. You're seasoning it up over there?
I'm going to throw some salt and pepper. If I'm feeling really adventurous later, I've got some buffalo powder that I would love to just kind of...
We can save that for cooking the birds for dinner, but these, because we're canning them and they're going to be used for a multitude of different recipes. No buffalo. Unless we want to specifically have buffalo chicken or something, we can always add the seasonings after we take it out of the can and cook them up in soups, stews, fajitas, whatever we want to do with them. So we're doing just a plain salt and pepper chicken in the Instapot, pretty much boiling it in the Instapot and just cooking it thoroughly. Now, you said cooking it on the chicken setting for 10 minutes per pound?
Yes.
And there's about 3-pound birds, so
yes.
Probably only need about half of that. So we're probably only going to do about 20 minutes in the pressure canner, or the Instapot, before we pop it over into our electric pressure canner. So,
now, I'm going to drop this in here real quick. Usually you use a half a cup to a cup of water to get a broth with the Instapot to make it work.
Yep.
But because we want more broth for canning, I'm throwing in more water, right?
Yes.
Question mark?
Yes, we're going to be trying to probably go into putting a little bit extra water so I'll have some extra broth left over, or stock. Have chicken stock left over, because if we have enough left over chicken stock for cooking chicken after chicken after chicken in this thing, then I'm going to try to have that nice concentrated chicken stock also canned, so we can use it for doing soups and starters. So when Stephen makes his wonderful chicken noodle soup, or your chicken and dumplings is what you made last time.
Yes. And if you're saying wonderful, I feel good.
It was
that was
really
the first
good.
time I ever tried that recipe.
It was my family's recipe, so thanks, Nisi.
Nisi, like you say, the most important ingredient is love.
We did without it. But no, anyways, guys, we're just going to throw these into the Instapot whole. Like I said, they're still semi-frozen with some water. And just let them cook up and prepare everything else while that's cooking for only 20 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
2 cups of water, 4 cups of water, sorry. We're going to try to get you a good, strong broth.
Yeah. Because we're going to add a little bit of broth to the chicken when we can it as well. Just give it some juices to sit in, because like I said, it will cook a little bit more in your pressure canner. So if you don't have enough it filled up with enough juices from either hot water or broth or just the stock that's left over from cooking it, it tends to dry it out. And so you want to make sure it's kind of has some juice to sit in, and so it's not sitting kind of dry. All right, we got it for chicken.
Well, here's what, you said you wanted it medium, right?
Yeah, so we're gonna do it for 20 minutes, if that's okay.
Well, this is medium at 30.
Okay, well, we'll try it. If it's a little overcooked on this one, we'll know we'll turn it down a little bit.
Okay.
So, all right, that one's good. So let's move on to the next step while this is cooking. All right, guys, you can hear the water running. Like I said, my jar's been sitting in the attic because they've been waiting for a day like today to get used up to something delicious. So before you use them, just give them a quick rinse. Just make sure that they don't have any dust or anything else on them. And then we're going to put them on a baking sheet. Get them all lined up. And then we're going to put them in the oven for about 20 minutes. About as long as the chicken's going to be cooking, we're going to put them into the oven to sanitize. Can you go ahead and turn up the water?
I would be delighted to.
Thank you. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and put them in the oven. We want 200 for 20 minutes and vaporize all that water that's on them. And get them nice and hot jars, nice and sanitized, so we can get to canning them as soon as the chicken's done. So we're gonna go pop these in the oven right quick. 200 for about 20 minutes.
Bigger than I remember.
Okay guys, our chicken is fully cooked out of our Instapot. Just if you can see, and tear into it and go, ooh yeah. Look at that steam coming off of that chicken. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to debone it. Just taking some forks and kind of shredding the chicken out. I'm going to leave a lot of the fat. Oh my goodness, we got fat dripping. Honey, I need a towel. A rag is fine. I'm dripping chicken juice. The dog's going to come in and have a good time cleaning that up. So it's very juicy, but I'm just going to debone it, leaving the skin and fat out of the jars so that it's not too fatty. Going in there, Steve's throwing another chicken into the Instapot.
Sorry for the beeping.
But my hot jars, we had to switch over to the smaller ones because we realized these don't actually fit. The bigger ones don't actually fit into my pressure canner. So yeah, so we'll have to use these. But we're just kind of taking the chicken, deboning it, putting it into our nice hot jars. And just kind of shredding up the chicken. And seeing how we can fill these up. These smaller jars might actually work out just a wee bit better anyways. Ooh, I'm still dripping. Need to get it like a little dam built up with my rag. We're just kind of skimming the fat off of it, but it's falling off the bone being cooked in that Instapot.
If I sneeze, I'll run.
It's the pepper.
It's the pepper, not the Rona.
But yeah, we're just going to be filling up our jars with the chicken, and this should be enough for say one meal. We can always grab more than one jar if we have a large pot. We're going to see if it'll hold a whole chicken or if we need to hold more than one chicken, how much it will hold. So but yeah, it looks wonderful though. We're just going to kind of scrape the skin off of it and just get down into the meat of it. We're not making bone broth or anything with it. We may do the extra stuff as scraps for possibly the kitty cats. They like birds. Yeah, we're just kind of, and we're going to do a mix of light meat and dark meat. It doesn't matter. If you have rabbits, this is a very similar canning as to canning rabbits. And so if you happen to raise rabbits and you've got a lot more meat than you know what to do with, I know a lot of people have limited freezer space. Yeah.
Sorry.
Say you don't have a deep freeze. We have friends of ours that live off grid, so their freezer space is very limited to a very small propane freezer. And so when they got the chicken from us, they were very, very reluctant to take too much because they only have so much freezer space. But with this canning method, you can take all that excess chicken that you might get on sale, cook it up and have it ready to go, and you're not taking up any electricity, no freezer space at all to get this meat stored for a nice long period of time. That's filling up nicely. So alright guys, I'm going to continue with this and see how many chickens we can fill up jars with. But after you get the chicken in there, we'll put the broth from the chicken to kind of fill in the extras. And it's going to be about 1.25 inches from the rim. But we'll get to that when we get to actually filling up a bunch of our jars with all this chicken. So, got a fly that's buzzing around. Likes my chicken. Y'all see him? Alright guys, we'll be back in a little bit. Okay guys, we've been working really, really hard all day. And then giving the corgi scraps so she won't stop whining over there wanting more. Hey, you stingy woman, knock it off. Anyways.
Through the magic of pause and editing, it's been about 2-3 hours since we last talked again. 4 or 5.
We have been deboning Instapot chicken like crazy. Now, since we're going to be kind of doing a modern versus traditional, Steve made an observation that while deboning the chicken, we actually, because we could only do one chicken at a time in the Instapot, and we had a lot of chicken, we went ahead and started boiling some in our big stock pot. And we noticed, or Steve noticed,
it's much easier. I mean, you reach in to get one of the chickens out of the Instapot, you just poke it with 2 forks and lift it out. Whereas you take some of those big tongs with the pot and it falls apart into 3-4 pieces just trying to grip it. The tongs go straight through it. It's much easier to separate the chicken that's been boiled in the pot than the Instapot.
So the Instapot, it seems to be making it a little bit tougher.
Yeah.
Than just traditionally boiling. So that's one in favor of just traditionally boiling it. You know, my big pot over there, we were able to fit 3 of the chickens in, and we could fit 1 at a time in the Instapot.
Having said that, how long did we boil them for?
Well, yeah, we had to boil them for a little bit longer. It's a lot of water, and we had to bring it up to boil, so it did take longer.
And this took 30 minutes per chicken.
If you've only got a small amount of chicken to do, I think the Instapot would be great because it's not like it was super tough to pull it apart. But like us, we're having to do a lot of chicken, and so we're having a big stock pot with just water boiling it, and it's making a lot of broth in there that's great for putting into your jars. We've already got these ready to go into our modern pressure canner, electric pressure canner. We're going to hopefully get these all canned up. We can fit only 5 of these small jars in there at a time, so we're going to be still probably working through the night getting this done. But don't forget to wipe your lids real good because chicken does have a lot of fat on there, so you want to make sure you've got a nice clean surface for that lid to seal onto. Make sure you sterilize your lids and your rings. My brain, it stopped working. So we're going to pop these in there right quick. I love my little handy popper. That we're on snug that. Like I said, we were able to fit 5 in here. This is the, what is it called again? It's a Power Cooker XD. I believe that's, where's the lid go? Where did the lid go?
The lid is on the other side of the oven.
But I don't know if y'all can see, if it's got the name on the front of it.
Power Cooker?
Yeah, the Power Cooker, and this is the Power Cooker XL. We might put that in the description because this is what we're using. It's a pressure cooker. and pressure canner. So I don't think this will work in something that isn't made for canning. Like it has a setting for canning on here. So we're going to be filling it up with water. The instruction says to fill it up about 1/4 of the way up your jars. So we're going to hopefully fill it up with water. My lovely assistant is having so much fun. Keep going. Keep going. Are you my Igor?
Yes, master.
My Igor?
How much more do I need?
A little bit more. We're only about 1/8 of the way up. I think we should add some more. You don't want to skimp on the water because, like I said, it is a pressure canner. So, traditional pressure canners do use, I think, a little bit less water than this. That looks about right. It's a little bit less than half, so we should be good on that.
Wonderful. Master might let me eat dinner tonight.
There's chicken.
Chicken. Chicken. It's all chicken.
Yeah, we were making our menu up and said, "What's for Sunday?" Chicken. Monday? Chicken. We can get spice it up, and Wednesday we can have
beef.
Chicken and rice. But no, guys. Similar to the Instapot. It's got a little rubber seal.
I wanted
on
to
there.
make sure the gasket was on. Don't
We
mind me.
have a little rubber seal. We put it down, boom, and it turns on as soon as you go. And you should be able to go to
Steam canning.
steam canning. So you've got better eyesight than I do with my glasses on. Look at you. And we're gonna bump it quite a bit up. Where'd it go? Cook time. Oh, stop it. Cancel. Yeah, I don't use this very often. I like a more traditional, but I wanted to show you this way as well. But canning. And we've got to go all the way up to 1 hour and 20 minutes. Mainly because I'm going off of traditional pressure cooker times. And for deboned chicken, depending on the size of the jars, because I could use a little bit larger jars, it's 1.5 hours. But our larger jars don't fit in here. We'll make sure our little steam vent is closed. Good to go. But the good thing I do like about this is I've got an old school pressure canner that's got like the little weight and rocker on top of it. And it's hard to make sure you are at the right pressure at all times. I mean, because if it drops down below pressure at any point, then you've got to start the process all over again. And so it can be a struggle. If you've got the one with a gauge, that's the one I want. I want the one with the gauge that you can monitor your pressure. That way if it starts dipping below, you can raise it up and kind of keep it at that nice level. The one with the rockers, I have canned chicken with them before. They make me nervous to make sure that you're keeping it that constant pressure. It helps when you have at a gas stove or electric, but if you're doing it, say, in outdoors,
Yeah.
if you're on a wood stove, it could be a little bit more difficult to do that on if you're off grid. So I do like the convenience of knowing that this stays at pressure without me having to monitor it at all. I just set it and forget it.
There you go.
But we're gonna move on. This is all we've got. We're gonna let it cook and it's canned. So we're gonna come back next week and film. We'll probably film it tomorrow, but we're gonna go ahead and film using a traditional pressure canner to kind of show you the difference and the convenience factor. So we're going with more the traditional way of cooking, but I like my modern pressure canner. So we're gonna figure out which method might be good. So hope y'all stick with us till next week and see the end results of all of the chicken that we have done. And so, are you having so much fun, Igor?
You can take the blonde, I'll take the one in the twavin.
Alright guys, if you liked it, like, share, subscribe stuff. If you have got any questions about canning chicken, put them in the comments of this video. Dog. And we'll try to answer it next week's video as well. So thanks for watching, and we'll try to...
You keep getting questions. Her little mitt, it's all in the canning aisle. It's a ball,
just a ball.
jar,
Yeah, that's
pot holder mitt thing.
Oh, can. My sister got it me from Walmart. She was a little canning kit for Christmas one year, so she knows I love to can.
Hey, sissy.
So,
So
yeah.
it is really easy. It's convenient. My hand doesn't quite always fit into it all the time, but
I had to go to the outside. But anyway, we always get a question about that thing, so that's what that thing is. Anyway,
it's my ball mitten.
so like, share, subscribe. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye, guys.